Yes, day before yesterday, we wait a minute. I will share the screen. Yeah. So we were discussing informally the discussion, and we stopped, and I told you that regarding why Mumbai is financial capital of India, we'll have a discussion. So as rightly said, that Mumbai has both the stock exchanges, that is BSE, NSE. It has. It also houses most of the important banks offices in Bandra Kurla complex. Along with these stock exchanges, then important bank offices, it also has got SEBI offices and many such financial institutions headquarters Mumbai has. Also, it has um, like in Mumbai we have Bollywood, that is the epicenter of film and television industry, which actually generates lot of revenue. Now, along with this, even Mumbai has got a dock, so buying and selling, export and import of goods is also a common phenomena in Mumbai. Also, like we discussed, traditionally Mumbai had large number of textile mills, and till I guess 70s, 60s or 70s, they are functioning, and later on those land of the textile mills were replaced by uh, big industries who are employing, and a lot of other service sector industry has flourished in those in the lands of these textile mills. So basically we see that lot of such activities are happening, lots of money or revenue is getting generated, and also this is the reason it is attracting many of the migrants from all over India, and also from maybe from other nations, the nearby nations, South Asian nations as well. So all these things together make Mumbai as financial capital of India. As rightly said by people, that it has got stock exchange and other industries. So everything clubbed together, Mumbai is a financial capital of India. So this was the last point which we were discussing, entrepreneurship as a style of management. Now before that we also saw looking at entrepreneurship as a career choice. So we discussed how many of you are really interested. Few of the people answered that why they are looking at entrepreneurship as a career choice. It has got the benefits which the regular job or regular service does not offer. It gives us liberty, it gives us our own, it makes you your own boss. You can um, do the things as per your own wish and as per your convenience. It, if you have this inner ability of perfect decision making or leading team, then we can say that you are a born entrepreneur. You can manage the team, you can manage the venture also on your own. Biggest advantage if you have of risk taking, then entrepreneurship is really a wonderful career choice for you. So all these things together make entrepreneurship as a great career choice, as an important career choice. How we are looking at entrepreneurship as style of management. Now, organization and management of enterprise is the main function of main function of an entrepreneur. Now, you are your own boss, but then you have to take care of lot of things. You have to really manage everything if you are your own boss. If it's a small organization, or let's say if it's a startup, then really from managing smallest thing in the organization till making the decision, the strategic decision, every responsibility and accountability is with that entrepreneur. So here purpose is to allocate the resources As you grow, as the organization grows, then need arises that I cannot do everything on my own because of the intensity of increased operations. I cannot do things on my own. I cannot manage things on my own. So, what do? I need to delegate the authority and responsibility. I need to hire people who can manage it, and ultimately they can tell me how the functioning is, how the functioning of the organization is. So, though this in this way, though the organization grows, but then still decision making remains with the entrepreneur because he is the one who has initiated. So, you may delegate responsibilities, you may have n number of people, you may have lots of people who are working for you, working below you, but if it is your own venture, though it has grown, but the responsibility, the main decision power, and uh, क्या बोलते हैं, the chunk of everything remains in your hands. So what function, or when you are actually practically implementing entrepreneurship in your own organization, exactly what managerial functions you have to perform. So it includes everything. It includes planning, decision making, communication, leadership, control, motivation. You have to motivate your staff. Sometimes, many a times, you have to coordinate routine supervision. You have to update yourself what current trends are there and all. So basically, all these functions a manager performs. Similarly, an entrepreneur has also to perform. Fine. Now we are starting our discussion with emerging models of corporate entrepreneurship. I hope the PPT is visible to you properly.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. Okay. One second. Okay. Somebody messaged saying that screen is blank. Is it okay now? No? Okay, so emerging models of corporate entrepreneurship. Now, before moving or before understanding the models of corporate entrepreneurship, let us understand first what do we mean by corporate entrepreneurship. Now, we have seen entrepreneurship. Now, what do we mean by corporate entrepreneurship? So, within the boundaries, like an entrepreneur, remember, within the boundaries, or as the organization tells me to develop something. Suppose I am working in an IT company, I am working on software development, or I am working as a software developer. So my job is to work, or is to take those projects which come to us, which come to my organization, and as per the guidelines, we are developing it. Now, altogether, my boss tells me that since you are doing these things for our organization, now you develop these softwares, but then you have to ensure that you only manage end to end selling, distribution, everything related to what you are developing. So it's like, um, I have to create market for my own products. So how will I create market for my own products? I need to find out sales team who will help me out in sales. I need to find out support team who will support the products which I have developed. I need to find people who would be working with me in that project. So it's like taking care of a small venture, and I will be the one who will be responsible for decision making and all. But funding for the same would be provided by my parent company. Are you understanding? So, this is how corporate entrepreneurship works. All right. So, in this scenario, what sorts of models are there, or what sort model meaning format, business format? Now, we have understood what is corporate entrepreneurship. Is it? Have we? Please answer. हमें corporate entrepreneurship समझ में आई है? See, basically we are working independently. We are taking decisions. We are as in the entrepreneur who is the main brain behind it. He is taking all the decisions. He is developing, he is implementing, he is planning, he is executing. But he is working as per the guidelines given by the parent company. He is working on the fundings provided by the main entity. Getting it? Is corporate entrepreneurship clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we are seeing what are the models in this type of format. Models as in the options available. Now, assume that you run a medical shop. Okay. Now, when you run a medical shop, you have some 2 to 3 executives who are working for you. Now you tell them, you assume that Mr. X is really a hardworking guy. He can think on his own. He innovates while delivering the services, and he is really an asset to my medical shop. So what you tell him that you see him or you observe him carefully that he is not basically the one who really enjoys working for someone. This Mr. X is the one who likes to take his own decision, and maybe within 5 years or maybe within couple of years you sense that he will move out of your medical shop and he will start something of his own. So in order not to lose this guy, you give him some kind of proposal. So, what that proposal is our emerging models of corporate entrepreneurship topic. So, we are now going to understand what all options a corporate gives to an entrepreneur when the organization wants to practice corporate entrepreneurship, intrapreneurship for that matter. Fine. So, successfully developing new businesses within a large or an established organization, it depends on two fundamental decisions. Now, imagine you as medical shop owner, you telling Mr. X that why don't you, instead of working for me, why don't you work with me and why don't you start another shop in so and so area? Suppose this is what you discuss. So this sort of development, successfully developing new business within the large and the established organization, it depends on two fundamental decisions. So you as an owner here, or you as an entrepreneur here, you have to decide on two things. Who, if anyone, within the company has primary ownership for creating new businesses? So, who has the primary ownership of creating new business? That you have to first find out. So, is it you who will decide, or are there board members who will take this decision, or is is that you along with board members are going to decide about the ownership of new business? So will you own it completely? Will you have some holdings in that ownership, 50-20, 50-50, 70-30, like that, proportion? So that you decide when you are starting with corporate entrepreneurship. And another decision is money dedicated to corporate entrepreneurship, or are new business concepts funded in an ad hoc manner? So are you following a specific path? Are you delivering, or are you dedicating some money to the corporate entrepreneurship? Or as and when the concept will be developed, will be seen how the funding will happen? So meaning, will this be a planned effort, or on an ad hoc manner the things will be run? Are you understanding? So here, when you as an entrepreneur think of starting or think of corporate entrepreneurship, this is how you begin. That are these efforts planned, or whenever something will get developed, then we'll think of what to do further. Is that the thing? And who will have, who within the company will have the primary ownership for creating the businesses? Is it the entrepreneur who will create, or will it work on your feedback, or how it is? Fine. So based on this corporate entrepreneurship, the philosophy of corporate entrepreneurship, we have got four options. We have got four options, and the model is known, or model has got the options like opportunist, enabler, advocate, and producer. These are the four models of corporate entrepreneurship. That now these are the people who have put forward this particular model. Robert, yeah, somebody wants to say something. Hello. Yes. Anyone? All right. So these are the four models given by Walcott and Michael Lippids. They from their book Grow from Within, it has been taken. This particular model has been taken. Now, before knowing the model in detail, let us understand what this model is all about. Now we have got four quadrants or four matrix है यहाँ पे 2 by 2 matrix. The model begins with the opportunist model first. Now opportunist model के लिए what parameters or how is the scenario? Now we have got two scenarios: who will be the resource authority and who will bear the ownership, who will hold the ownership. So this ownership, organizational ownership, उसका नेचर कैसा है? It starts from diffused and slowly and steadily it moves towards focused. अभी diffused, what is the meaning of this word diffused? diffused का meaning क्या होगा? The things which are unclear, the things which are not clearly being stated, धुंधला दिखता है, that is what is diffused. So ownership is diffused, nobody really knows who is having the hold and all. From that it is moving towards focused. Screen not available. Still the same thing, that you can't see the screen, because this was like past message. Is the screen visible now?
Yes,
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 ma'am,
ma'am.
visible.
ठीक है, ठीक है. So ownership का nature is like diffused and focused. So from diffused, from being unclear towards, we are moving towards being focused or clear. In case in case of resource authority, who will have the ownership? From ad hoc it is moving towards dedicated. Okay. Ad hoc, again not clear. Somebody will have the ownership today, somebody will have, another person will have it tomorrow. So it's like ad hoc basis. Suppose the project is going on, the one who is present and one who is working currently will be having the authority. So from this nature it is moving towards dedicated, single person responsible for it. So this is how the arrangement, or this is how the environment uh, of corporate entrepreneurship. And then we have opportunist, enabler, producer, and advocate. Now what these four models are, let us study them. अभी opportunist model, like we have seen, opportunist model, the ownership is diffused and resource authority is ad hoc. So what can we say more about this model? This works well only in trusting corporate cultures that are open to experimentation. एक minute. that are open to experimentation, and that have diverse social networks behind the official hierarchy. So ये जो सेकेंड पार्ट जो है, दैट हैज डाइवर्स सोशल नेटवर्क्स बिहाइंड ऑफिशियल हायरार्की. सो दिस रिप्रेजेंट्स द अथॉरिटी. Ad hoc, not yet decided. No, liberty is given. You can work the way you want. You can develop it because it's in the beginning. It's in the introductory stage. The model is so. This opportunist model works well. Sorry, any doubt? Okay, fine. That are open to experimentation, meaning the liberty is given, the full authority is given to develop it the way you want, and that have the culture has the diverse social networks behind the official hierarchy. So along with official hierarchy, it has got some diverse social networks. From there it gets or it receives the input, meaning the atmosphere is quite friendly. This opportunist model, they enjoy, or they, this particular model gives um, or has this liberal environment where you are open for any kind of experimentation. There need to be multiple executives who can say yes to a new business concept. That is why we see यहाँ पे the authority. It's like ad hoc. Tomorrow, if I am working on this project, I am being given the opportunity. I'll lead the team and I'll say yes to all the proposals. Maybe after 15 days, suppose I am not available or I am busy with something else, somebody else is appointed and now he runs the show. So there are multiple executives who are saying or who are giving go ahead to the new business concept. Reason could be that the atmosphere is so that we want to develop it. So the promoters of this model, they don't believe in restricting the efforts. If somebody is growing or somebody wants to grow, that is why the enough liberty and freeness is given so that they can work the way they want. Without that type of environment, good ideas can easily fall through organization cracks. If I put lot of restrictions, if I put lots of do's and don'ts and everything, if I put, then the good ideas, they easily fall through organization cracks. Suppose when I'm learning a vehicle, for the first time I'm learning, or I'm visiting the training institute, and the instructor gives me instructions, the basic rules he explains, functioning कैसे होता है गियर का, एक्सीलरेटर का, everything he explains. Now when he gives the actual, the vehicle, steering wheel of that vehicle in my hand, I'm like an opportunist model there, because I'm doing it for the first time. Now I'm taking all the judgments, how exactly the accelerator works. Will I be in a position to, put the gears with the help of left hand? So for me, this is new and I'm quite excited. But in this scenario, if the trainer or the instructor gives me lots of instructions, please don't do this, when you say this, please immediately you have to brake, you have to reduce your speed, बहुत सारे instructions मिल जाते हैं, then what happens? Probably my enthusiasm of learning it goes down. Probably we have experienced this when we are learning four wheelers. As it is, we are quite afraid of the situation, what is happening around us, and in that situation, if somebody really demotivates or gives lots of such instructions, immediately that graph of my learning curve जो होता है वो एकदम पूरा नीचे आ जाता है. So, in case of organizations, also, when you are developing corporate entrepreneurship, the opportunist model believes in giving kind of liberty and kind of creating the atmosphere which will promote lots of experiments. If it is not the case. Good ideas will fall easily through the cracks, organization cracks. अब अच्छे अच्छे आइडियाज ऐसे ही निकल जाएंगे. और receive insufficient funding to prove feasible. Those good ideas, if I'm being demotivated, or I'm being given lots of instructions, and I'm being restricted in nature by the authorities, probably the good ideas won't get developed. And or I it may happen that I may receive insufficient funding to prove feasible. Probably people will not like the ideas, so I won't be able to do justice. Since I am not able to do justice to the project, I may receive insufficient funding, just to say कि हाँ नहीं, feasible नहीं है अभी, इस चीज के लिए हमारे पास बजट ही नहीं है, we don't have provision only, so chances are there that I may receive insufficient funding. ठीक है. अभी there is something for you. Once we complete this model, opportunist, enabler and all, small activity for you is to find the companies under each and every category. जैसे कि व्हेन आई से अपॉर्चुनिस्ट, गूगल पे अच्छे से मिल जाएगा एक ड्यूपॉन्ट, और गूगल itself example is being included. But I want you to explain why this opportunist and enabled model is being followed or being seen in these particular companies. तो थोड़ा रीडिंग तुम लोग को करना पड़ेगा. Fine. Moving on to the next model called as enabler. This is क्या बोलेंगे, this is little technical we can say. अभी तक का जो थोड़ा simple simple था ना, this is little technical. Enabler model has dedicated resources. Let us look at enabler one. ये ऊपर वाला, it has got dedicated resources, and also if you see the ownership, it is like diffused. Early stages of new business conceptions are explicitly supported, encouraged, and often strategically channeled, with the promise of serious management attention to those concepts that look promising. Now, management is looking at all these developments. Corporate entrepreneurship, when it is getting developed, management is seriously paying attention to all these concepts. It will definitely give more attention to those concepts that look promising. If we take the same example of the medical shop, where anything to ask? Okay, please ensure that you mute yourself while discussion is going on. At any point of time, if you want to ask me anything, you are free to ask, no issues. So the management really pays attention to the promising concepts. Early stages of new business conceptions are explicitly supported, encouraged, and often strategically channeled. But then this is applicable in case of those which look promising. Now, management is smart enough that they can always classify which is promising, which is somehow managing. Somebody, if somehow is managing, maybe not interested in developing it further, so they can easily understand, and accordingly the treatment is given. So, what we were saying, if we take the same example of you telling Mr. X from your medical shop, जो भी हमारी फार्मेसी है वहाँ से, you are giving an opportunity to Mr. X for starting something of his own along with you. Not competing with you, but along with you, so that even you will expand and he will also expand. Now, if he comes up with some innovative way of carrying out things, maybe he tells us that why not make our medicines available online. Now you know that all the big shots, जैसे जो भी फार्मेसी है, जितने भी है, जो भी कॉर्पोरेट लेवल के जो है, they all are operating over internet. But for a small shop like you, it is difficult. But then he gives you an entire plan. This is how we'll begin and this is how we'll do everything. So if it looks promising, definitely you will support, you will also encourage, and you will ensure that it happens, or strategically it gets channelized. Are you understanding what I am trying to tell you? जो अच्छे आइडियाज होते हैं वो मैनेजमेंट बराबर से पिकअप कर लेते हैं, एंड enough attention and enough funding is made available to such ideas. ठीक है? But it is not only about allocating capital for corporate entrepreneurship, it is also about personal development and executive engagement. Now, enabler model is not only about getting the capital or from your side allocating the capital. Okay? When we are practicing, or when we are understanding this enabler model of corporate entrepreneurship, it is also about personal development. That is why we said that that executive, if he is energetic, Mr. X is energetic, finding newer ways of meeting the customers, so he is actually developing as a person. And in corporate entrepreneurship, such initiatives are welcome. They are being given due consideration. Please ensure that you have muted yourself. If by mistake your mic is on, please mute yourself. So personal development and executive engagement is also achieved because of this. Then comes third model, that is advocate. अभी advocate मतलब यहाँ पे can we see advocate model where the ownership is focused and the resource authority is ad hoc. The company assigns organizational ownership for driving the creation of new businesses to a designated corporate level group, but it intentionally provides the group only with a modest budget. ये जो अथॉरिटी है, हाँ, ये the nature of authority for advocate model is ad hoc. It needs some more clarity. That is why it intentionally it provides, the management provides with some modest budget. They are not welcoming it wholeheartedly, overwhelmingly they are not welcoming. They are basically playing safe game in advocate model. Advocate organizations acts as evangelists and innovation experts, facilitating corporate entrepreneurship in conjunction with business units, which must demonstrate their commitment to new business development by paying most of the bills, as the author note. So, point is that the efforts are being seen, but unlike this opportunist model, where the environment from the corporate side is quite supportive. In case of advocate, it is like playing a safe game, just ensuring everything is happening, and maybe the things are being delayed little bit for taking the decisions, and just to check whether things are as per the plan or not. Fourth model is producer, aims to protect the emerging products from turf battles. So you are kind of in protective mode, you are supporting such ventures to encourage cross-unit collaboration, to build potentially disruptive businesses, and to create pathways for executives to pursue career outside their business units. So all the battlefield, or let's say all the fights, are being sorted here. The one who is progressing in his work front is being given good opportunities in case of producer model. These models are little tricky. We just have to understand it and understand. That is why I said, if any example, if you study, then the explanation will be clear to you. So assignment or the activity for you is to come up with the examples for these models. Fine. Shall we move to the next one? Now this is very simple, we can say. and we have been listening to this for a long period of time now. Startup revolution in India. Anybody can tell me about this startup revolution or any this particular startup venture? Any example you have seen? कुछ personal experiences हो या maybe somebody in your somebody your friends or family में किसी ने किया होगा, so anyone can share. Anyone? Yes. That day we were discussing that during pandemic many such people who there are people who have started their own ventures. Maybe those ventures are smaller in number, only the service providers like vegetable vendors are there, then home bakers are there. They have initiated these ventures just to cater to the local demands, can come under startup. Now, why all of a sudden this revolution, startup revolution in India has taken place? Anybody would like to contribute? Why this Startup India initiative has been initiated maybe 3 4 years back? We have been listening about Startup India, Make in India, and such ventures. So, what are the reasons for this?
Um,
Yes,
Hello,
yes,
am I
yes,
not
yes,
audible?
yes, you are audible. Yes.
Actually, the problem is that most of the bankers, finance company are not giving
Ma'am,
loan
you
to
are
the.
not audible
No, I'm not
audible
right. I'm not right now talking.
properly.
Am I audible now clearly to you?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am.
You please continue. May I know your name?
My name is Ajay Gaikwad.
Yes, Ajay. Ajay, yes. I can, like your voice, I can recognize. Only thing is, I was not knowing your name. Yes, Ajay.
Yeah, government have the before 2 years ago, the
Hmm.
government want to promote the new businessmen. The problem is that most of the financial companies and banking are reject to give loan to a new startup. So that's why government take initiative, and that's why they are starting to giving loan for those people who have a unique ideas.
Okay, okay. Very good point. So basically the process is tedious. Process of opting for loans is tedious. Moreover, those who are starting or initiating it for the first time, the banks are not readily disbursing them the loan. That is what you said. So at government level, such initiatives have been taken up so that the newer ones, those who want to initiate something, for them this process of opting for loans would be simpler, right?
Yes, yes.
Exactly, exactly. So any example from your side where you have seen that the person started something of his own, maybe have made use of these government initiatives, and he is really doing well now, or maybe doing well and all is not the concern. Thing is, ये फैसिलिटी अवेल करना, उसका यूज करना, एंड प्रैक्टिकली implementing it and practicing it. So any such example you have come across?
I read in a newspaper, two engineering guys are starting business of polishing the shoes.
Okay,
Yeah. So this is a new idea. So this is called startup.
okay, okay. And any other example?
There's one more company. I just recently heard their advertisement, MyGate. So they are providing. They develop one app for a society who, for maintaining their day-to-day accounting or other. maintenance related activity for a societies.
Okay, okay. Where have you read about them, in newspaper or any particular magazine?
Newspaper or in a YouTube, there is a advertise for 1 second or 2 second.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, very good. All these examples are quite encouraging, we can say. And those, again, who wish to start their entrepreneurial ventures, these can be the क्या बोलते हैं, milestones or the inspiring stories for us. Even we can start on similar lines with these guys. So, what is this startup revolution and how it began in India? Basically, startup means an entity which is registered in India not over 5 years and the annual turnover not exceeding rupees 25 crores in any financial year. So, now we have to understand some technicality of being called as a startup. हर चीज या हर इनिशिएटिव को we will not term as startup. If I opt for क्या एग्जाम्पल, जैसे वही फार्मेसी का, सपोज इफ आई वांट टू स्टार्ट एंड इफ आई टेक फ्रेंचाइजी ऑफ दैट अपोलो 24 और जो भी some I don't I am unable to recollect its name. So if I opt for the franchisee of it, then as the name suggests, it's a franchisee. It will not be termed as a startup because I have opted for a kind of business format which is already existing, because I'll have to run that business as per the rules and regulations set by my franchisor. That is why it will not be termed as a startup initiative, for the simple reason that I have no control over activities. No, I have no control over running the things. I'll have to simply copy the format. I'll have to simply run according to the set format. If I start manufacturing, or let's say if I am into service, I want to start something in service industry, maybe uh, ticketing agency or the service providers, the tours and travel operators. If I start on the similar lines, if I register myself in India, in this particular country, uh, 2 years or 3 years back, not over 5 years, and if my annual turnover, if it is not exceeding 25 crores in any of the financial year, then only I will be treated as a startup company. So 25 crores may be beginning may it's a huge one, but you never know the kind of business I venture into, and it just clicks because it has got no classification that from manufacturing or service only you can start. So any sort of business, maybe manufacturing, maybe service, it could be an export thing also. If uh, maybe you are altogether manufacturing something overseas, but you are registered here in India, you are playing with it, so that can be something called as startup. It's an entity which works towards innovation. The reason or the main idea behind this revolution, startup revolution, is that the entity has to work towards innovation. You have to come up with something new. You have to maybe come up with some newer ways of reaching people. You have to come up with some newer products. You have to come up with newer ways of distribution. Something innovation or something innovative has to be there. You are developing something, maybe you are developing a product, you are developing a process, anything, or commercialization of new products and services driven by technology or intellectual property. So this particular point is actually telling us the scope of startup. कहाँ कहाँ के कंपनीज या कहाँ कहाँ के वेंचर्स स्टार्टअप में आ सकते हैं. So any newer format, if you are developing something, maybe you are commercialization matlab the idea which is there in your mind, you are actually bringing it into reality. That is what is meaning of commercialization. You are commercially making the product available. Earlier it was only on paper, that you had all the details, this way the manufacturing will happen, yahan se yahan distribute hoga, everything was there on plan. When it comes into reality, when you actually start manufacturing, distributing, that is called as commercialization. So commercialization of new products or services which are driven by technology. Again the example of uh, ये ट्रिबू या फिर क्या बोलेंगे, Ola and Uber, which are highly technology driven. Even medicines which are being ordered online, or big basket जैसे goods you are ordering online. Maybe you are ordering food or grocery or your medicines, apparels, electronics, ना सब चीज़ें हैं available online. Maybe you are dealing with properties also via online way. Maybe you are renting your properties, you are purchasing properties. So these are all the products and services which are driven by technology. All these are the startup uh, revolution, or all these are termed as startup companies. Okay. So नाउ समथिंग अगेन, जो चीज़ें मैंडेटरी होती है स्टार्टअप के बारे में जानना. सो व्हाट आर दोज? स्टार्टअप मीन्स एन एंटिटी विच इज रजिस्टर्ड इन इंडिया नॉट ओवर 5 years and annual turnover not exceeding 25 crores in any of the financial year. It's an entity which work towards innovation development, जो अभी हमने देखा. Entity not formed by splitting up or reconstruction of business already in existence. So एग्जाम्पल अगर इसका देना है, सो सपोज आदित्य बिरला और लेट्स से टाटा AIG इंश्योरेंस इज देयर. नाउ दिस कंपनी इज देयर. सो टाटा इज वन partner, as well as this AIG group is another partner. Now, by splitting up of this ventures, Tata splits up, or Tata and AIG, they split up and then they form a new business, maybe with some other person, then that will not be called as a startup one. Or reconstruction of business which is already in existence. Suppose you purchase a sick unit which is already, sick unit hai, so it was functioning, it was practical, you have just purchased and now you are starting to refunction it. So that will not be termed as a startup, because you have not actually yourself started anything here. Getting it? जो बिजनेस ऑलरेडी था, जो सिक यूनिट था, जो कोई रीजन, फाइनेंशियल रीजन की वजह से इट वाज नॉट able to manufacture further, that is why the factory got shut down. Now you have purchased it and now you are starting again. So that will not be a startup, because you yourself have not reconstructed it or rather constructed it. तुम आपने हमारा इसमें कुछ भी कंट्रीब्यूशन नहीं है अदर देन मनी विच वी हैव इन्वेस्टेड. ठीक है, तो इनको, इस टाइप के बिजनेसेस को हम स्टार्टअप नहीं बोल सकते. एंटिटी विल नॉट बी कंसिडर्ड अ स्टार्टअप if its turnover in the previous financial years has exceeded 25 crores. If that also condition, if it doesn't fulfill, then also उनको हम स्टार्टअप नहीं बोलेंगे. मोर ओवर, if it has completed 5 years from the date of formation, डेट ऑफ फॉर्मेशन के बाद अगर 5 साल हो चुके, then also we cannot term that as a startup. Startup will be eligible for tax benefits once it has obtained certificate from interministerial board. So this is again something which is mandatory for an entity to be called as a startup. The last point which we have to study is rural entrepreneurship, women entrepreneurs, and social entrepreneurs. Now, women entrepreneur is a separate unit which we have to study, where what all assistance, what all concessions, and how the things are, how the financial aid is given to the women entrepreneurs, we have to study in detail. We'll just now quickly go through what it means. So now we have got 3 things to learn: rural entrepreneurship, women entrepreneurs, and as I said, social one. So women entrepreneur, we understand when a woman starts her entrepreneurial venture, She is called as a women entrepreneur. Now, there are some interesting facts about women entrepreneurs in India. So, अभी वो हम लोग देखते हैं. Before that, let's finish what is rural entrepreneurship. The development of a new enterprise which pioneers new products and services, creates new market for its offerings, or uses advanced technology, but in rural area. Otherwise, if you remove this rural area, then it will not be called as a rural entrepreneurship. It will be an entrepreneurial venture, जो कि हमारे यहाँ as in urban areas you will find it in abundance. बहुत ज़्यादा इस पर proportion में हमको मिल जाता है. But when such things you find in rural areas, the person is practicing rural entrepreneurship. Now, if you are traveling in rural areas, maybe you come across a factory which is making use of the world class technology, and it is suppose manufacturing something, then usko hum rural entrepreneurial venture बोल सकते हैं, because we are developing. What is happening here, we are creating new market, you are using advanced technology, but these all things are happening in rural area. Women entrepreneurship. Now, as I said, there are some interesting factors about rural about women entrepreneurship. Now, what those facts are, not factors, facts are: India has the world's largest number of professionally qualified women. Now, this is something which makes us proud. तो ये तीन चार चीजें हैं वो उस बारे में है, that India has world's largest number of professionally qualified women. Now, professionally qualified में क्या क्या हो सकता है? There could be doctors, there could be engineers, there could be CA, or there could be surgeons, there could be scientists, professors. So these are all called professionally qualified ones. So India has that number as largest than any other country. India also has more female doctors, surgeons, professionals than US. Again, it's a very honorable thing for us that we lead in this front as well. That India has more number of doctors and working professionals, scientists, surgeons than United States. This is just, I'm just sharing it. It has got nothing to actually do with women entrepreneurs. Just the facts and figures to boost our confidence. तो इसमें women entrepreneurship we are all together learning in our coming sessions. ठीक है? Another important fact: India has more working women than any other country in the world. So we top in this category also. This includes female workers at all the levels of skills, right from surgeon to airplane pilot to bus conductor to a laborer as well. So this is how women entrepreneurship here, that we top the category. We have uh, women entrepreneurs, or professionals across the field, and we are also ahead of many developed countries. Now, talking about social entrepreneur, when an entrepreneur starts his entrepreneurial venture for some social cause, then he is termed as a social entrepreneur. Now, out of the love and affection for the क्या बोलेंगे, maybe out of love and affection for the kids who are residing over roads, if I start shelter for them, if I start school for them, without having the motive of making money, but to serve these people, then I would be termed as a social entrepreneur. All right. So here
Yes,
we
ma'am.
are. Yes.
I want to share something.
Yes. Please share.
Social entrepreneurship.
Hmm.
Uh, there is one woman.
Hmm.
Pray. She was invented new breeds of the vegetables. Have you
Okay.
read by paper? That woman got the recently she got one national award, and
Yes.
that lady is totally uneducated, but still she has maintained a few seeds which was out of the what we say, मतलब जो अब नहीं है.
एक्सटिंक्ट होने वाले हैं, मतलब जो अब कल्टीवेट ना हो किए, कल्टीवेट ना करने की वजह से दो एक्सटिंक्ट होने वाले हैं अभी.
Yes,
राइट.
yes,
राइट,
yes.
राइट. यस,
So it,
आई हैव सीन, आई हैव सीन.
so I have lots of respect for that lady, Rahibai Pepre, because she's a manage all things. So she has a knowledge about the management also. That's why she create her own bank for seeds. So
राइट, राइट.
self management, this is can't possible.
Right, right, right. Very good example. Very good example. Very nice.
Thank you.
So the cause here is a social cause, that the lady, she doesn't want to make money out of that seeds bank, but for to take care of nature and giving back to the society. ये सब चीज़ों से that great lady has started with this initiative. So such are the people जिनको हम बोलते हैं social entrepreneurs. So here we have completed our first unit. As I said, जो models of corporate entrepreneurship है, you let me know few of the examples related to that. And इसको शेयर, ये पीपीटी कैसे शेयर करना है, मे बी once we are done with the syllabus, that time I'll share. Or else if you want, I'll ask the coordinator, and accordingly it will reach to you. So we'll stop our today's session here. Have a nice day, have a nice, I mean, good night. And in case you have any doubts, please let me know. Next time we'll start with, next session say we'll start with second unit. All right. So we'll stop here and have a great day ahead. Bye bye.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, ma'am. Bye.
We'll see you
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Good night.